Well, 7 months, 31 games, 47 hours, 2,790 minutes of football has brought us to this point. It all comes down to this. It is Leg 2 of the NPL Men's Promotion Relegation Playoff. It is the Central Coast Mariners playing host to the Bulls FC Academy. Very warm welcome to the Central Coast, of course. Plume Park, the venue. Pete Pryor with you on the call for the final time this season. Absolute pleasure to have your company, as it always is, wherever it is in the world you may be watching from. The Bulls come into this one with the most slender of advantages, of course. It was Flynn Madden and former Mariner Ethan De Bono doing the damage last weekend in that 2-1 victory for the Bulls at Adenza. The Mariners pulled one back through Tay Headley, who sits out tonight, giving them a sniff at staying in the top flight. But so far, it is advantage Bulls. The team news, of course, is in. A bit of it to get through, so let's take you through how each of the sides starts here ahead of kickoff at Plume Park. In goal, returns Dylan Perage Cullen, Jack Wachowski away on national team duty. The number 3, Cher Deng, will partner number 4, Parker Williams, at the heart of defence, and of course Harry Madden, number 5 on the left. The 6, Jordan Small, 7, Arthur DeLima, 8, Lucas Shikluna, also returning this week from suspension. The number 9, Nico Duarte, will lead the line. 11, Don Neonkuru, the 27 and captain this evening, of course, Sasha Kozewski also returning. And another returning party, of course, number 37, Bailey Brantman. On the bench for the hosts this evening, of course, reserve goalkeeper Joy Ajanovic. The 2, Michael Paragali. There's 12, Hayne Eames. 13, Yanni Narcis. 17, Jai Rose, and 18, Adil Tosca. For the travelling Bulls this evening, in goal, of course, the ever-present number 30, Alexander Robinson. The 2, Luca Pecora. The 3, a former Mariner himself, of course, Andre Parks. The 5, Sebastian Krislovic. The 6, Franz Deli. The 9, Michael Krislovic. The 10, Flynn Madden. 11, as we said, another former Mariner returning to Plume Park this evening in Ethan De Bono. The 16, Oliver Jones. 17, Oliver Randazzo. And 20, Zane Helway. The substitutes, of course, for the Bulls this evening. Reserve goalkeeper Franklin Yarn. The 8, Federico Gagliano. The 12, Ante Vojvodic. The 15, Gildas Gonmukezwa. The 19, Trelawney Brown. And number 21, perhaps a familiar name around these parts himself, Luka Sturjovski. And the action begins this evening. Man in the middle, of course, Kurt Ams, highly experienced referee himself. 87 games he took charge of in the country's top flight in the A-League, of course. He's just synchronising his watch with his fellow officials. The whistle blows and away we go for the final time at Plume Park this season. The Bulls getting us underway, kicking from left to right on your screens and immediately turning it over. Menem clips forwards, looking to link up with Neon Kuru, but wide it goes. All too wide. Bulls, of course, were in the top flight last season. They finished bottom of the table after 30 rounds, looking to join Mount Druitt in the extremely rare feat of bouncing straight back up the season immediately following relegation. And as we said, coming into this game with the aggregate lead, looking to extend that as well as it cuts back across her face for De Bono, who scored the winner last week. And that's a scything challenge on Harry Menem. The crowd here at Plume Park perhaps asking for a little bit more. De Bono standing over the free kick, thinking about taking it himself. He is, of course, on the opposition, though, this evening. Kurt Ams keeping the cards in his pocket on that occasion, a bit early in the game. as Menem looked to stretch his legs, and Cho Deng looking to release Krzyzewski on the far side. Clipped in towards Nico Duarte, hooked clear by Jones. Andre Parks. De Bono looks to go around the inside of Menem. Menem was wise to it. Stood firm. That will be a fascinating battle between Ethan De Bono and Harry Menem. As we said, De Bono making the switch to MacArthur, who was a mid-season transfer from the Mariners. Played a lot of football in the under-20s set up here. Started the last two in a row for the Bulls, of course, De Bono. Healthy return in the under-20s as well for De Bono. 4 goals in 7 appearances. He is what separates these two sides as it currently stands. Krislovic, Sebastian Krislovic, of course. Trusting his goalkeeper's feet. Alexander Robinson, who's been an integral part of the Bulls' setup this season. 9 clean sheets in 21 starts for the Glovemen. Recently inked a deal with the A-League setup right through until 2026. Here is Sebastian Krislovic. Immediately Randazzo is pressured by Jordan Small. Robinson will send it half a world away up the other end of the pitch, and Paresh Cullen had to be alert to it. It's a very healthy turnout here at Plume Park. This grandstand here is nearly completely packed out as the Mariners on the march forwards. Stadium play. Krzyzewski providing support. Looks to drive into the area. Twisting and turning. But for the crucial intervention of Oliver Jones, Krzyzewski could have scored the opener here at Plume Park and levelled the tie. Doesn't score many, does Sash Krzyzewski. His last goal, in fact, was all the way back in March of 2023 at this venue as well. Of course, he had an extended absence with that horror ACL injury sustained last season, but he's returned even stronger. Kurt Ams has a bit of sorting out to do in that massive body. He's in the 6-yard box. The Mariners perhaps looking to crowd in young Alexander Robinson. Well, Ams has a few more words to say. Parker Williams in the thick of it, perhaps unsurprisingly, as is Andre Parks. We'll eventually restart with the in-swinging corner towards the near post. Clip back in, tailing in towards the goalkeeper. Mariners unable to connect with it. Nodded back forward by Shikluna. Flicked on towards Neon Kuru! Penalty! Kirk Ams, with no hesitation in pointing to the spot. He awarded the Mariners a penalty in the dying embers of the game against Sutherland. And inside 6 minutes here at Plume Park, he's awarded the Mariners another spot kick and the chance to level the tie. Don't forget Don Neonkuru, of course, did win a penalty in the early stages of last week's encounter, which was eventually overturned. This one is certainly not going to be. Nico Duarte tasked with the responsibility 4 goals for the season for Nico Duarte, including a brace in that 3-2 victory over Apia. There's a chance for goal number 5 of the season. It's Duarte! It's 2-2. 1-0 on the night, and the Mariners level the tie. A confident penalty from Nico Duarte, sending Alex Robinson the wrong way and sending this very healthy crowd here at Bloom Park into absolute ecstasy. Where to from here? It's been a season of so many twists and turns. Nico Duarte with the latest instalment. The Mariners now with their tails up. Jones going wide. Now Delhi. Good looking ball that for Flynn Madden. Sebastian Krislovic. Andre Parks is the wide option. He's waiting to receive. Does eventually. Look at the press from Nico Duarte. Keeping Oliver Jones honest all the way back to Robinson in the end. Randazzo. Raking crossfield ball towards De Bono. He just took his eye off it for a moment, and you can hear the ironic cheers throughout Bloom Park. Letting De Bono, the former Mariner, know their thoughts. Well, it was a very open encounter last time these two sides met at Bloom Park, of course, last season. It did finish 4-2 in favour of the home side, and they're looking good value for their lead so far. As Small looking to release Neon Kuru. Parks was alert to it. The only player remaining from that encounter last time these two sides met at Bloom for the Mariners, Bailey Brantman, who gets a start today. He was on the bench on that day. For the Bulls, both Flynn Madden and Alex Robinson were in the squad that day. They're the only two remaining members. Andre Parks now. To slide one in behind. De Bono again looking to slip inside. Parks looking to bring it on down, but couldn't quite reel it in. Duarte, emphatic. Looking chest back to Harry Menem, and you can hear the MacArthur fan in the crowd there. A bit of ironic cheers directed towards Harry Menem. Oh, that's wonderful work from Flynn Madden to turn around Cher Dang, and a loose touch evading Krislovic. As it looked to open up very nicely, the Bulls come forward again. Randazzo and De Bono fizzed across the face. Parker Williams first to it, and hooked clear by De Lima. Franz Deli has that pendulum of momentum perhaps swung back in the Bulls' favour. It's Randazzo riding the challenge of Neon Kuru. Still Randazzo tussling with Neon Kuru, and De Bono and Randazzo again linking up. Now Parks. And just have to go back and recycle, reload here. Jones. Looking to stretch the pitch and stretch the Mariners here. Menem. It was bounced up awfully awkwardly for the Mariners left back. Unable to find a teammate. Randazzo. Jones. Parks again providing the width and the go forwards. Randazzo. Nico Duarte doing some defending to great effect. Randazzo didn't see him coming off around the blind sides. And has felt the after effects of the challenge as well from Nico Duarte, who himself is a very fierce competitor. And at the moment, he's an absolute rock and roll star. He's the one who fired the Mariners into the lead here at Plume Park. Levelled the tie. Of course, away goals don't count in this fixture, so the Mariners, in order to stay up, will need to win by 2 or more clear goals. For the Bulls, a draw will do. If the Mariners do win by just that single goal, we will have extra time and, well, perhaps penalties if needed. It's been a gruelling 31 weeks so far for both of these sides. I'm sure they'll both desperately be hoping to avoid extra time and perhaps the dreaded lottery of penalties. Brantman unable to retain possession. The Bulls work it back through Robinson and Jones. It's a bit of an agricultural sort of challenge there from Kozewski. Randazzo is back on the pitch now. The Mariners return to their, or the Bulls I should say, return to their full complement of 11. Just winded after the challenge from Nico Duarte. Robinson again under heavy pressure. His pass. Unable to find a teammate. Pecora was tracking back frantically but couldn't reach it. And the Mariners perhaps with a chance to work something into the area. Well, the Bulls scored first last week from this sort of situation. A long throw flicked on, and it was the perhaps somewhat unlikely head of Flynn Madden that fired them into the lead on that occasion. Another one who's had a fantastic season, 12 goals for the season for Flynn Madden, including that one last week. Menem. Again linking up with Neonkuru. Shifting onto his right. Gets it back as well. Neonkuru into the area. Neonkuru! Don Neonkuru! Remember the name. Remember the backflips as well. Has fired the Mariners into the lead in this tie. 2-0 on the night, 3-2 on aggregates. Goal number 6 of the season for the Adelaide product. It looked like it took a wicked deflection on the way through, just deceiving Alex Robinson, taking a good chunk of paint off the post on the way through. He won't mind. Here's Randazzo. Back with Krislovic. Jones. The Bulls look to rebuild here. Kozewski felt he had his heels clipped, but Kurt Am's unmoved, and into the box it goes towards De Bono. Little layoff, little slip, allowing Small to step in. And the Mariners look to release quickly. It's a good-looking release, that from Bailey Brantman as well. Slid in behind. Not a clear as far as Brantman. Whoa. He's more than capable from that sort of range. Back in the starting 11 this week. The 19-year-old. Scored an Olympico, of course, for the Mariners in their final regular season clash against Rockdale. Diana Illenden Sports Centre. That one just flashing over the crossbar. Here's Madden. Again, working it from one side of the pitch to the other, looking to stretch the Mariners. Randazzo and De Bono. Menem, again, as he has so often this season, standing firm, and as he does so often, Parker Williams carrying it forwards. It's a real epitome of a ball-playing defender is Parker Williams. Good range of passing, loves to stride forward from the heart of defence. He's looking like a real prospect for the future. Has a cool, calm and collected head on his shoulders, one who just really seems to just roll with it. Robinson under heavy pressure again, able to get the clearance away. And now it's Flynn Madden driving, working the wide angle and blocked off once again. As Helwet, who unleashed the shot and has then in turn jumped to the deck in a wider area. Another one who's had an impressive return this season, the 18-year-old Zane Helwet. 5 goals to his name from his 10 starts. That's some pretty blistering early form in the under-20s as well. 9 goals in 6 starts in the early part of the season for Helwet, and quickly promoted to the first grade setup. Former Marconi Junior. Marconi themselves in action tomorrow in the big dance, of course, at Combank. The grand final against Rockdale. Kurt Ams again just coming over to sort a few things out, just saying to a few of the players, hey now, settle down. We will eventually get back underway. Fizzed in towards the near post. The Mariners able to repel it initially, but Randazzo can't stick the pass. Neon Kuru wants to release Brantman. It's all too far ahead of the Mariners 37. Randazzo, De Bono. Looking to isolate Harry Menem and drive at his fullback. Harry Menem has been outstanding in the opening 20 or so minutes here at Plume Park, as he has throughout the majority of the season. Just delayed and eventually took it off the toe of Ethan De Bono. He's another real prospect for the future, is Harry Menem. Perhaps even in the shorter term than some may think. I do recall the earlier rounds of the season. A good friend of mine commented the resemblance between Harry Menem and Jacob Farrell We all know what Jacob Farrell's gone on to do. That's a delicious-looking ball for Don Nyonkuru, shifting onto his right. Don Nyonkuru eventually blocked off, perhaps delayed a little too long. The Mariners want to drive forward immediately again. Bailey Brantman dinked in towards the back stick. And there's a Mariners player who's taken a whack to his face as well. Kurt Ams hasn't spotted it. Well, he has now. He just waited to see if the counter-attack would prove profitable for the Bulls. They were halted initially, and now Nico Duarte is going to require some treatment here for the Mariners. Sash Kazevsky in close consultation with Kurt Ams. He immediately clutched at his face, did Nico Duarte. It was his goal from the penalty spot, of course, that fired the Mariners into the lead here tonight and level in the tie. Don Nyonkuru added a second. And in spite of the fact that we started the game 23 or so minutes ago with the advantage planted in the Bulls' favour, it has also quickly evaporated and swung the other way. As we said, tomorrow evening at Combank, 6 o'clock, the kickoff for the big dance between 2024 premiers Rockdale and, of course, the Marconi Stallions. A very fitting clash. Marconi perhaps had the wood over their opponents tomorrow in Rockdale throughout the course of the regular season. A 2-all draw, of course, but I think one that's going to live forever in the memories of a lot is the 9-0 victory in favour of Marconi, as Pregame Cullen has a bit of a puzzle to figure out and does so expertly and takes out a teammate. Some friendly fire on the way through. I think that's Harry Menem. Referee Kurt Ams trying to halt the entrance of the Mariners physio. Harry Menem not requiring treatment. He's a tough customer, the Mariners fullback. Came across from Belconnen, I should say, in the Capital Football setup. One of a number of Mariners with Canberra connections. Was spotted alongside this man here, Dylan Pregame Cullen, in a friendly that the Mariners played down there in 2022 against the Capital All-Stars team. Kuzevsky, Brantman now working it wide with Nyonkuru. Shikluna reloading through Cherdang and Shikluna. Small keeps it moving. Nyonkuru driving inside. Small. Shikluna. Well, certainly not beyond him. That is his sort of range. A couple of goals for the season from that sort of range for Lucas Shikluna. Alex Robinson fairly confident that he had his angles correct. Ensuring that that one cast no shadow on his goal. Here's Pecora, who looks like he's switched flanks with Andre Parks. A bit of a reshuffle for Craig Noon's side. Capable at both left and right back, of course, Pecora. Craig Noon perhaps feeling that he might be a bit of a better match for Don Neonkuru in terms of pace particularly. Neonkuru has the capability of going absolutely supersonic sometimes. And they look to get him in behind again here. The flag's going to go up on the far touch line. It's going to work all the way through to Robinson in the end in any case. As we said, an extremely healthy crowd here at Plume Park. The grandstand is nearly just about totally packed. Footballing royalty in the house as well tonight with Eric Sibiano and Justin Smith as well. Not to mention the whole cast, an all-star cast of Mariners. Josh Rose, of course, who's been promoted to the A-League setup. Mark Jackson, the A-League head coach. Alo Kuol, Ryan Edmondson, who scored for the Mariners in a friendly earlier today against Sydney FC in a 2-0 victory. But of course, for those of you who aren't able to make it to Plume Park, a very warm welcome. Pleasure to have your company as it always is. Pete Pryor with you. I know that Tim Crocker, former guitarist for Something With Numbers, is tuning in. But here's Ethan De Bono, able to free his feet enough to get the shot away. It's taken a big touch up in the sky. And behind for a corner. Well, Franz Deli, I thought he was coming across to offer a short option. Instead, he's just playing ball boy. And now he does come across to offer a short option. Variation on the corner. Deli swings it away. Panayage Cullen rising as if he were standing on the shoulder of giants to pluck that one out of the sky. Williams, Brantman, sliding one in behind for Neonkuru in a foot race with Pecora. Pecora stretching to keep it in play. The Mariners, well, the final touch off the Mariners, I should say, behind for just a goal kick at the end of it. It's a bit of an awkward looking tangle that between Neonkuru and Pecora. De Bono hemmed in immediately. Brantman able to win it back. Trying to force his way past Pecora, and De Bono will win the throw. Ali Brantman, of course, son of Tony Brantman, who spent a number of years in the Football New South Wales system with Sutherland. Here's Krzyzewski. Mariners turn it over somewhat cheaply. Cher Deng coming across to play covering defender, getting there ahead of Madden. DeLima can't retain it on halfway. And that's because he's fouled, says referee Kurt Ams. Well, 15 or so minutes to go until half-time here at Plume Park. The Mariners with that 2-goal advantage. 3-2 on aggregate in favour of the Mariners as it stands. They've frustrated the Bulls for much of this one, proving much more resilient than they were last week, certainly. They turned it over cheaply in the middle of the park, though. Curse of the commentator, me and my big mouth. Once again, though, the Bulls unable to work an angle. We'll try again. De Bono again, one-on-one with Menem, who goes through the back of Ethan De Bono. The Bulls with another chance to hang one up into the area from the set piece. Flynn Madden to play provider. He's also joined by Zane Helwet. Madden just about immediately sends him away. Perhaps going to be looking for the big frame of someone like Michael Krislovich, who's found it difficult to get into the game so far this evening. Swung in by Madden. Parej Cullen's come a long way and got a good fist to it. Delhi sends it back into the area. To Bono again, trying to isolate the defender, but his cross doesn't beat the first man. They'll have another corner for their trouble, though, the Bulls. Again, it's that crowded, massive bodies in the 6-yard area. Will be aimed towards the near post where most of those bodies are. Goes central. Again, Parej Cullen with another good fist to us, and then urging his teammates to get forward immediately. And they respond in kind. Slid in behind towards De Lima. It's well carried forward from Nico Duarte. Giving real forward impetus. De Lima recycling through Shikluna, who keeps it moving for Harry Menem. Neon Kuru. Just settle it down here, the Mariners. Just look to work their angles, work their combinations, string a few passes together. Shikluna again providing the bounce pass at metronome in midfield. Just keeps it ticking. Kozewski. Captain Kozewski, as he has been since his reintroduction to the side. Signed his first professional deal as well. Just a few weeks ago did Sash Kozewski. A real wondrous sort of return for tonight's captain. It will, of course, be his final game at Plume Park, Sash Kozewski, this evening, as he graduates the academy. One of a long list of those who've come through the academy ranks here on the coast and into the first team, and that's a scything looking challenge from Small, and he's straight into Kurt Am's notebook, no doubt about that. I believe that's the first time Kurt Ams has gone to his pocket this evening. It is indeed. Jordan Small, the first to earn the ire of referee Ams. Bailey Brightman looking to dink it around Krislovich. Straight into the body of the Bulls number 5, though. Franz Deli. Shikluna, oof. Firm challenge to block the ball forward from De Lima. I'm sure you could probably hear that one through the effects mic here at Plume Park. I certainly felt it. It's a cheap-looking turnover, and the Mariners with a chance to advance rapidly, which they do! But for an excellent save from Alexander Robinson. Proving his worth once again, as he has so often this season for the Bulls. Looked like the Mariners were going to further their advantage in the tie. It's a ferocious shot as well. The glove on it, strong enough to turn it behind. Former Blacktown City keeper, of course, Alexander Robinson. Looking to make his mark in the A-League over the coming years, as this is swung in again right on top of Robinson, who does very well to get there ahead of Cher Deng, who is certainly an imposing figure in those sorts of situations. Alex Robinson also winning the resulting free kick. Passing lane blocked off, and it falls at the feet of Brantman. Little layoff as well. Excellent last-ditch sliding challenge, forcing the shot from De Lima behind. The Mariners are absolutely pounding on the door here at Plume. Not content to just sit on this 2-0 lead. Of course, it is 3-2 on aggregate. They want to try and make it safe before half-time. Robinson showing no interest in playing out from the back there. Cho Deng striding forwards. Again, it's another cheaper turnover, and Madden with a chance to free his feet. It's Jordan Small that time, the guilty party. Flynn Madden, you'd certainly back him to at least hit the target from there. Perhaps a little surprised himself as to how quickly the chance presented itself to him. It's a long way high and wide in the end. Praj Cullen perhaps breathing a sigh of relief that he wasn't called into action. Slip from Shikluna, allowing Randazzo to steal in. Parker Williams is having none of it. Might get another go here, Randazzo. No, all the way through to Praj Cullen. He's been involved in, of course, a goalkeeper rotation throughout the course of the season. Has Praj Cullen between he and Jack Wachowski. Madden, Hellaway, unable to get past Menem, and now Parker Williams. Duarte, who's dropped a little bit deeper between the lines here. Fashioning it wide for Kozewski. Small, lets it run for Nico Duarte. Duarte pulls the trigger. Well, it's a long way behind and into the bushes. In the bushes here at Plume Park. Replacement ball on hand. And again, Robinson just sending all the short options forwards as we tick into the final 5 minutes of the first stanza here at Plume. Cherdang with a towering header, finding Bailey Brantman with a bit of time. Bailey Brantman, good save initially. Turned behind by Jones at the very last available opportunity, but take nothing away from the excellent save from Alex Robinson at full stretch, down to his left. Bailey Brantman has drawn an excellent save out of the Bulls gloveman once again. Who keeps the Mariners' advantage in the tie at just the one. Corner to come, though. Sash Kozewski has a wicked right foot. What's the delivery like here? Well, it's gone out. The flag is up on the far touchline. So, well, that is the absolute prime example of curse of the commentator striking. Just lauding the excellent delivery of Sash Kozewski. Launched forwards by Robinson, up over halfway. Parker Williams rising to meet it. Taken off the toe of Pecora, though, by Neon Guru, who wants to go through the gears. Well, we know he's electric. He's brought down before he's really able to get into full stride there, Neon Guru. Meeting of the minds over the ball between Bailey Brantman and Lucas Shikluna. Both players have fantastic football IQ, of course. Sash Kazevsky now joining the party. He's the right-footed option. Brantman, of course, the left-footed option. Clipped in by Brantman. Should be Robinson's ball and is. Comfortable take for the Gloveman, who immediately looks to release a teammate, but for an excellent sliding challenge from Parker Williams. That's an excellent recovering challenge. Parker Williams, again, an excellent raking crossfield ball. De Lima has Kazevsky offering support. Clipped in by Shikluna. Oof, Robinson certainly very interested. Left it very late to commit to either getting a hand to it or leaving it. In the end, deciding to let it run behind, but such was the teasing nature of the ball in. He couldn't be sure until the very last available second as to whether that was going to just drop in or float harmlessly away. Madden unable to fashion the chance in the wide area. It's again excellent defending by Parker Williams. He's been another one who's returned from injury this season and been fantastic for the Mariners. At the heart of defence, Parker Williams, just about to have a present since his return from injury. Picked up this season from Western United's academy, making the move up north. Duarte unable to make any real sort of meaningful contact, but Shikluna does and finds Nyonkuru. Nyonkuru across the face, it goes for Brantman! That is simply sensational! Bailey Brantman, take a bow! The most delicious of chips! Sailing over the head of Robinson, there was nothing he could do about that one. And nestling ever so sweetly into the far corner. Oh, that is special from Bailey Brantman. Scored in his last start, of course, back in the starting 11 this evening and back on the score sheet. The Mariners now with a 2-goal advantage in the tie, and we'll have 2 minutes of time added on at the end of the first stanza. Oh, and excellent link-up between Shikluna and Duarte. Still going, Nico Duarte, again a very good save from Robinson, a good hide for the goalkeeper. It was one he perhaps should be making. But that's the difference between ones you should make and ones you have to make. It was both, of course. Pecora, again, looking to bring it on down out of the sky. Couldn't quite reel it in, though. Bailey Brantman has fired the Mariners into a 3-0 lead here at 4-2 on aggregate. Small tussling with Sebastian Krislovic, who wins out in that encounter. Sherdang able to link up with Williams. That's an uncharacteristic errant pass from Williams there. The Bulls with a chance to clip one into the area. Conrad Cullen alert to the danger. Off his line, plunging on that one and giving the Mariners a chance to soak up the last few seconds of the first stanza here at Plume. Well, that is indeed the final action of the first half here at Plume Park. The Mariners with the ascendancy. It's 3-0 at half-time. It's 4-2 on aggregate. The opening goal from the penalty spot to Nico Duarte before Don Leoncuru took a good chunk of paint off the inside of the post and sent the Mariners fans into absolute raptures. Bailey Brandman with the absolute pick of the bunch. A delightful dink into the far corner, giving the Mariners a 2-goal advantage on aggregate. It's set up wonderfully for a second 45 here at Plume Park. Don't go away. Of course, we'll be back in action in about 15 minutes' time. A very warm welcome back to Plume Park for the final 45 minutes of the season. Leg 2 of the promotion relegation final between the Mariners and Bulls FC Academy. The Mariners with a commanding opening 45 minutes. Goals to Nico Duarte, Don Neonkuru, and the most delicious, deft of chips from Bailey Brantman, firing them into the lead. The Bulls yet to have a shot on target. 4-2 on aggregate, 45 minutes to come. A double change at half-time as well from Craig Noon's side. We'll bring you news on that in just a moment. Referee Kurt Ams gets us underway for the final time at Plume Park this season. Just as it was in the first half, the Mariners turning it over immediately from their own kick-off. Brantman enthusiastically attempting to win it back. Wide it comes to Andre Parks. Started the night at right full back, now on the left. Bit of a slip from Jones. Brantman continuing the press. Joined by De Lima. Jones riding 1 and 2 challenges and then winning the throw as well. So that double change at half-time. On come Ante Vojvodic and Gildas Gonwakezwa. Kuzevski nodding it forwards. Only as far as Franz Deli. First involvement for Gonwakezwa. Harry Menem first on scene though. Gonwakezwa again, Harry Menem taking it off the toe of the half-time substitutes, and the Mariners work it out through Kuzevski, who looks to dink one in behind. Robinson's come a long way out. He nods it forward as far as Neonkuru. Definitely had to be there, Robinson, to get there ahead of the onrushing Nico Duarte. Get there he did. The Bulls survive. The high line they've been playing throughout this contest. Don Leonkuru is having a field day with it. Nico Duarte so close to nearly profiting once again, but Robinson playing sweeper keeper. But here comes Duarte again, looking to isolate Pecora. Goes around the outside and clipped in towards the near post. Back out it goes. Shikluna. All the way back with Menem and Williams. Stroking it around with a real sense of panache and confidence, the Mariners. Confidence that one may expect with such a commanding advantage in the contest this evening. Neonkuru, speaking of confidence, bursting into the area. Don Neonkuru, across the face it goes. No one able to make any real sort of meaningful contact on it. Sash Kuzevski, Captain Kuzevski, winning it back immediately for the Mariners. Small. Kuzevski assessing the options. Decides to drive inside himself. Reloading through Williams. Neonkuru again wanting to isolate Pecora. Still going Neonkuru. Goes down. Too softly for Kurt Ames' liking. He did win the penalty in the first half that Nico Duarte so coolly dispatched. He's been an absolute live wire this season since his move from Adelaide, Croatia, has Don Neonkuru. Small, unable to find a teammate with the header. The Bulls looking to transition rapidly, but Kuzevski's having none of it. Shikluna. You can't help but feel it's the reintroduction into the starting 11 of this man, Sash Kuzevski, and Bailey Brightman and Lucas Shikluna as well, who both missed out last week, has given the Mariners a real renewed sense of vigour and sense of purpose. They looked really bereft of ideas last week, and this performance so far this evening has been nothing short of relentless. As they come forward again, this one will come to naught. Krislovic, Cherdeng winning out. Sash Kazevsky profiting and linking up with DeLima. Kazevsky's continued his underlapping run. Jones coming across, illegally so, taking the legs away from Sash Kazevsky on the way through. As we said, so many in the crowd here at Plume Park tonight. The Kazevsky family as well joining us here at Plume. Spotted Patrick Zvonsvik floating around at half-time as well. I'm sure the Kazevsky family will be looking at the delivery here from Sash Kazevsky as he swings this one in centrally. Out it comes back to Shikluna. Just on a bit of a different wavelength to his teammates there. Harry Menem, again with some outstanding covering defence from the fullback. Well, they're not shy of developing absolute quality at both left and right fullback are the Mariners, of course. Sash Kazevsky, the latest to sign a professional contract on the coast. This is, of course, his final game with the academy set up. Turned 23 this year, did Sash Kazevsky, so he'll be ineligible for the academy next season. Dare say he'll certainly be happy with the way this is playing out on his farewell to Plume. There's another example, of course, of a Mariners Academy captain who suffered an ACL injury and then graduated on into the first team. The last one that comes to mind was Brad Tapp as well, who was cruelly struck down by an ACL injury himself, another former Mariner Academy captain, but was an integral part of the A-League setup for the Mariners in their treble-winning season of 2024. Meanwhile, it does look like we may have had another change from MacArthur. Oliver Randazzo, I think, has taken his leave for the evening. We'll bring you confirmation of that very shortly as Neonkuru again looks to expose this high line. It's Don Neonkuru, goes down. And the card is out from referee Kurt Ams. And the Mariners will go to the spot for the second time this evening. Don Neonkuru is giving this MacArthur backline no end of headaches. He scored earlier in the contest, of course, the second goal of the evening. He won the first penalty that really set the tone for proceedings. And he's having an absolute field day out there, is Don Neonkuru. As we go to the spot once more. Nico Duarte again, tasked with the responsibility. Nico Duarte! Robinson just about got there, but it squirms under him into the back of the net. And the Mariners are in delirium here at Bloom Park. "4-0 here in the second leg. And few would have thought that this one would play out in such an emphatic manner. They extend their advantage in the tie to 3. And perhaps it's fair to say that it's nothing less than the Mariners' performances so far this evening have deserved. The Bulls, I should say, are going to go to the bench again. Andre Parks bids farewell to Plume Park, an unhappy return for the former Mariner here. Straight into touch from the kickoff from the Bulls. Trelawney Brown, of course, just introduced in place of Andre Parks, a like-for-like swap there for Craig Noon. First touch here for Trelawney Brown. Forced all the way back to Robinson. Brantman continues his press. Parker Williams tasked with cleaning up at the back. Menem simply skipping around Randazzo. I think that's Randazzo on the far touchline. Who has... looks like he's actually stayed on. May have just come off earlier to receive a bit of treatment, perhaps. As Lucas Villela goes to his bench for the first time this evening. Adil Tosca to get 35 or so minutes. What in place of Arthur De Lima. Early touch here for Tosca. He wants to go around the outside of Pecora. Pecora initially wins it, but Tosca wins it straight back and hooks in a very tasty-looking sort of cross. No one really attacking it for the Mariners. Leonkuru rising. Corner for the Coast. They've been impressive in the latter half of the season, or the latter part of the season, I should say. The final 2 matches aside for the Mariners, as this corner is swung in once again. Chaos in the box, and a wonderful feet-first save from Robinson. And he's called into action immediately again. Absolutely full stretch to turn that one behind. That one was travelling at a rate of knots. 2 pieces of extraordinarily good goalkeeping from the Bulls custodian. The first, a feet-first save from point-blank range. The second, flying to tip it behind at full stretch. At the expense of another corner, though. Kuzevsky to take. Near post delivery. Pops back out And clipped back in towards Deng. Robinson had to get there and got two good fists to it, but only as far as Kozewski, who can't force a way through the channel. Kezwa couldn't quite reel it in, though. That's perhaps the tale of the Bulls' evening. That change they made just a few moments ago, of course. Federico Gagliano coming on. Here's Kezwa. He's got pace for days, does Kezwa, but he's just run out of real estate on that far touchline. Tussle there between Krislovic and Sherdang. Looks like Krislovic was offside in any case. Sherdang again stealing in there ahead of Krislovic, and that's a scything challenge from Vojvodic. Kerdams goes straight to the pocket, and it's Sherdang, in fact, who goes into Kerdams' notebook. The Mariners fans are incensed. Looking at the replay on the monitor here, I'm entirely sure exactly what has been spotted there. Kerdams, of course, was in a very good position to see it. Sherdang joins Jordan Small in the notebook. Pecora to restart and hoist it into the area. Again, Deng rising. Jones couldn't quite ride the challenges there. Well, some may say this has been one of the most impressive performances the Mariners have put on this season. Sherdang slicing his clearance, but Sash Kozewski recovering excellently. And he's only gone and found Tosca as well. That's a good sliding challenge in return, though, from Vojvodic. I've witnessed, of course, a lot of Mariners games here at Plume Park. Is this the best performance of the season from them? Well, definitely, maybe. Kozewski. Striding into the box, Kozewski. Went down a little too easily for Kerdams' liking. Don Neonkuru's down in back play as well. Looks like perhaps a touch of cramp for the Mariners fly out. So heavily involved this evening, Don Neonkuru. Winning 2 penalties. Scoring as well himself. Continued a fantastic debut season on the coast. Speaking of debut seasons on the coast, we're going to see a recurring theme throughout the latter half of the season. The introduction of Jai Rose. Don Neonkuru makes his way from the field to just about a standing ovation here in the stands at Plume Park. So heavily involved, as we said, it was having an absolute field day against the high line played by the Bulls. And Jai Rose will get about 27 or so minutes here, continuing his impressive run of performances off the bench for the Mariners. Mid-season pick-up from Sydney FC, son of Josh Rose, of course. Just 16 years old, if you can believe it as well. Franz Deli Dropping in behind the two centre-backs and linking up with Madden, who bounces off Cherdang. Now Flynn Madden! Good save initially. Pregame Cullen at full stretch, and then Harry Menham. Who else is there to clean up? Carries it forward over halfway too, if you don't mind, but that's about as far as he gets. Delhi just trying to force the pass, and it's easily picked out by Shakluna, and now Nico Duarte. Just a sighter from Nico Duarte. Has a brace to his name, of course, this evening. Looking for the hat-trick there, but Robinson happy to watch that harmlessly behind. John Mukeswa rising against Parker Williams. Great strength from Parker Williams as well to win out. John Mukeswa forced back to Jones. That's going to be all too easy for Pregame Cullen. And another break in play here. We've got a Mariner down receiving some treatment. Give me a chance to correct one of the earlier Mariners substitutions, of course. Adil Tosca came on earlier in the half. Arthur De Lima has actually stayed on. It was Bailey Brantman who scored. Absolutely the pick of the bunch. One for the highlight reels from the 19-year-old Bailey Brantman. The deftest of dinks over the top of Alexander Robinson. The crowd collectively held their breath as it sailed through the air. It hung in the air for an age. And the tension, the silence was broken with an almighty roar as the ball just nestled into the bottom corner. Really was the exclamation points on what was a fantastic opening 45 minutes for the Coast. Deservedly taking his leave. A shift that, of course, sees Arthur De Lima playing more centrally now. And it was Duarte who was looking to link up with his new strike partner. De Lima just overran it a bit, though. Gagliano now with a chance to advance. Gonwa Keswa shifting inside. Surface perhaps getting a little bit greasy here at Plume. Brown now linking up with Vojvodic. Wide option on this near touchline is Pecora, who will receive it. And link up with Flynn Madden, busy, buzzing around. Linking up again with Pecora, blocked off initially. It's chaos. It took a touch off Parker Williams. Cannoned off the post. The rebound just not kind enough, just not falling for the Bulls. The strike initially from Pecora cannoned into the legs of Parker Williams, who tried to turn it away, turned it into the post. Gonwa Keswa was sliding in to desperately try and slide it in. Instead it just slides away, but Pecora now has his shirt pulled on the way through. You can perhaps hear what the Bulls fans in the crowd here at Plume think about that. The Mariners will take the opportunity to go to the bench again. Just waiting to see if the fourth official does actually put his board up here. It looks like from here, well, the Mariners are going to hold off anyway as Flynn Madden looks to swing this one in. Doesn't get past the edge of the 18 though. Duarte again Busy dropping back to great effect. He received the return pass as well from Shikluna, and again look to link up with Arthur De Lima, who's got the legs to keep it in play too. Perhaps a little too cute though in his endeavour to try and go around and fool Pecora. Tosca. Adil Tosca. Well, doesn't get the trajectory required to test Robinson. Will the Mariners use the opportunity to go to the bench? They will indeed. So Jordan Small will depart. The Bulls, of course, will look to make a change of their own with Flynn Madden taking his leave. The Mariners may just look to make a triple change here, and it's a warm reception for Sash Kazevsky, who takes his leave for the final time at Plume Park for the Mariners Academy. Excellent performance, as we've come to expect from Sasha Kazevsky over many years here on the coast. Of course, a Coast Junior. Grew up plying his trade at Woy Woy. Had a couple of years away with Apia Leichhardt and Marconi. Returned to the coast a number of years ago and graduated all the way through the ranks. Very bright future ahead of the 23-year-old. Michael Panagali will be his replacement. Another one of those with links to the nation's capital in Canberra. Here he is, Michael Panagali. Immediately closed down by Lucas Dejovski. And Lucas Shikluna has a few words to say there as well to Vojvodic for the sliding challenge. Kurtams quickly across to play headmaster. He's coming across to say, hey now, what's the story? Calmed down very quickly. Vastly experienced referee, of course, Kurtams. 87 A-League matches he took the centre for. Shikluna. Cherdang hoisting it forwards towards Yanni Nassis, who was another one of those introduced just moments ago. Haynes, who was the other change in that triple change from the Mariners. Shikluna. De Lima. Something cooking here for the coast, perhaps with Jai Rose. Shifting onto his right. Rose! Good save initially! They had to make a double save once again, Robinson, who is certainly earning his keep this evening. The Mariners win it back immediately. Panagali, Shikluna, Williams. Panagali hoisting it into the area. Robinson telegraphed it, saw it all the way. Good looking release as well. Nkombo Keswa, who wants to isolate the fullback. Well, do you ever really isolate Harry Menem? Outstanding work once again. It's a bit of a cheap turnover though from the Mariners. Pecora now. Vojvodic bundled off it by Yanni Nassis. Clumsy looking challenge in all fairness. His over-eagerness to win the ball back, Yanni Nassis. There's one who's still looking for his first grade goal, Yanni Nassis. Mind you, he's been on absolute fire in the under-20 setup. 15 starts, 14 goals. Another one who made the move up from Western United alongside Parker Williams in the off-season. Here is Williams. Jai Rose with a great pocket of space now. Had Menham overlapping and will eventually use him as well. Well, not quite. Salima it was, who is in turn just bundled off it in the wide area. Well, Craig Noon must be wondering, where did it all go wrong? They were by far the better of the two sides last week at Sydney United Sports Centre. They brought a 2-1 advantage into this, but the Mariners have been ruthless. The Mariners have been relentless as they swing this in towards Williams. Just swings the big left boot at it. Eventually, Alexander Robinson will pluck that out of the sky. Raking crossfield switch of play in the direction of Gomwa-Keswa, but Parker Williams getting there ahead of Gomwa-Keswa. Tosca will win the throw. Shikluna keeps it moving out to Menham. Rose looks to drive inside of Stajovski. Initially picked out by Sebastian Krislovic, but he's rather shanked it somewhat. The Mariners will have yet another corner. That corner count absolutely piling up. A real shift in gears, a shift in performance, an uptick in performance, an uptick in mentality as well for the Mariners, all in the mind, perhaps. In-swinging delivery, hangs in the air for an age. Sherdeng rising, landing heavily as well. Get a chance to come forward again through Ames. Paragali awaiting the supporting cast. Inside to Shikluna. Works it out nicely for Menham. Clipped into the area as well. Headed towards goal, and it took a bit of a touch on the way through to Robinson. Robinson able to readjust. Ames just firing it into touch. Hayne Ames, another one who recently penned a scholarship deal on the coast. Hayne Ames, 3-year scholarship deal for the central midfielder. Said he likes to model his game on Maxi Ballard, who is, of course, another Mariners Academy graduate, who was instrumental in that 2020 NPL too, as it was then known grand final victory for the Mariners. Recently departed the coast over to the Netherlands with Nach Breda. Handy looking ball into the channel as well. Nass's giving chase. And Robinson, well, really got the better of himself. Pecora harassed and harried by Tosca, and Nass's continuing the press. His legs eventually giving way. Delhi. Referee Kurt Ams, well, initially signalling the free kick in favour of the hosts. The players seemingly all knew what was going on. A quick peep on the whistle from Kurt Ams, and we're back underway. Williams watching it all the way. Pregame happy to soak up a few more seconds. It's a commanding lead that they hold in the tie here, the coast. It's Tosca. Bounces off 1 and 2. Deng. It's a bit of an aimless ball forward, in all honesty. Gagliano juggling. Deng, well, that's agricultural. Kurtam's waving advantage. They'll recycle through Jones. Trying to work it wide through Trelawney Brown. Running out of room on the far touchline again. Well, you feel the Mariners perhaps would be happy just to manage this one out from this position as we enter the final 10 minutes of the season here at Plume Park. Perhaps nothing short of a miracle required from the Bulls if they are to find a way back into this one. 4 goals behind on the night. 3 goals behind over the course of the 2 legs. It's been mostly one-way traffic, in all fairness. And the Mariners now looking to add a cherry on the icing on the cake. Tosca linking up with De Lima, fired into a sea of legs. The final strike at the end of it from Panagali. Cannoning off the post. Well, rather just bouncing off the post, really. Straight into the grateful arms of Alex Robinson. He swung the big right boot at it. Everyone stood and watched. Perhaps expecting the net to bulge. The post intervening in favour of the Bulls on this occasion. Dry Rose has had his legs taken away from him, and there's quite strong protests from Lucas Villela and co on the Mariners bench. Just a free kick at the end of it. Deng. All the way back with Pregame. Looking to release the electric pace of Gyros, all the way through to Robinson in the end, though. Pecora unable to advance. Again, it's Adil Tosca blocking off any avenues afforded to the Bulls fullback. Clipped forward this time in the direction of Gomwa-Keswa. Deng able to work it out. Williams and then Hayne Ames. Apologies, it was Panagali and then Ames and then Williams. And then Menem. De Lima. Just handled it there, did Arthur De Lima. Collapsing on the ball and perhaps delaying the restart. Maybe a bit of gamesmanship from Arthur De Lima. There's another one who penned a scholarship deal on the coast, another 3-year deal, as this one works out nicely for Pecora in a bit of a pocket of space. Give and go from Lucas Pecora, but Adil Tosca, with the fresher legs there, gets the better of the Bulls fullback, who looks gassed. He stayed forward though, Gomwa-Keswa, twisting and turning. Well, Gagliano. Able to fashion a yard or two of space for himself, but just about everyone behind the ball for the Mariners. Jones driven into the area. Krislovic just sliced off the outside of his boot somewhat. from Krislovic. Unable to add to his 5 goals for the season so far, Michael Krislovic. Looked like just for a second it might work out nicely for the Mariners, but it petered out even quicker than the chance was presented. Driven forward once again by Pecora, and that is a tired-looking pass in all fairness. Krislovic, well, it's a late sliding challenge on Pregame Cullen, who hops over it in the end. Pregame Cullen did invite it, but it's maybe a little bit needless in all honesty. Speaking of needless, well, that's Panagali with a tug on the arm of Franz Deli, who hasn't been able to impact the game the same way that he did last week. Of course, it was his ball to Ethan De Bono that gave the Bulls the ascendancy. It's a wonderful technician, is Franz Deli. Deep-lying playmaker is Trelawney Brown looking to stretch and try and keep this in play. He just has to go let it out. Cherdeng now striding forwards. Little clip as well out to Parigali.
Take time, Michael. Fine.
Blocked off by Jones. Into the final 5 minutes of the regulation 90 at Plume. The damage was done in the first half by the hosts. Vojvodic able to dig it out. Pecora. Jones looking to open up the pitch, but it's telegraphed by Jai Rose, who's able to go through the gears on the far touchline. Shifting inside. Shikluna keeps it moving to Panagali, who hit the post earlier in the half. Clips in across this time. Jai Rose unable to juggle past Dajovski, who's done ever so well, in fact, to ride the challenge of Rose. He was able to link up with Krislovic. Well, in fact, it's a free kick in favour of the home side. It did look to be 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Kane Eames. Parigali again in a pocket of space. Slaloming inside is Parigali. Doesn't receive the return pass though. Able to recycle with Eames and Shikluna. Harry Menon. Oh, it's a delightful looking ball from Parker Williams to find Jai Rose, who has Trelawney Brown for company and goes around him initially, but then runs out of real estate. He's just looking to fade in out of the reach of Trelawney Brown, but couldn't quite keep it in play. Here is Brown. Well, the Mariners did, of course, hope not to find themselves in the relegation playoff. It was a fantastic, strong finish to the season, aside from the final 2 games. Bulls looking to perhaps add a bit of respectability to the scoreline, but that's high wide and not so handsome in the end. Well, the Mariners, of course, in no hurry to retrieve the ball, and we can't get underway because Dylan Pregame has indeed gone to play ball boy. Returns to the pitch now and sending all his short options forward. In no hurry to play out from the back here, Pregame, or in no mood, I should say. Kurtams just urging the young gloveman to get on with it a bit. Through the regulation 90 here at Plume. 3 minutes of time to be added on as signalled by the fourth official. As Pregame again sends it forwards. Shikluna, bit of space to operate in, and Arthur DeLima, who's drifted onto this near touch line now, wants to isolate his fullback, shifting onto his left. DeLima pulls the trigger straight at Alex Robinson, who, in all fairness, in spite of the scoreline, has had a wonderful game tonight for the Bulls. There was very little to nothing that he could have done about any of the goals. He's made some wonderful saves to boot as well. Bright future ahead of him indeed. Referee Kurtams giving the free kick the way of the Bulls. The Bulls in their over-eagerness to get it forwards. Sending it all the way to Pregame, who's able to just plunge on that and soak up a few more seconds here. Pregame. Shikluna. Pulled down by his opposite number 8 in Gagliano. As we tick into the final 90 seconds or so of time here at Plume Park, the Mariners have just about booked their tickets, sealed their status for 2025. Wonderful touch to bring it out of the sky as Pregame clips it in towards the back post. Was flashing behind in the end. Again, posted forward and straight into touch. And that has been the story of the Bulls' evening. They had a tough conclusion to the season, of course, the Bulls. They lost their final 6 matches of the regular season. They came into this one with confidence, having that solitary goal advantage after the first leg. But it was only half-time in the tie. They might just have a chance here to pull back what would be, certainly at this point, nothing but a late consolation. Dylan Pregame, though, how he would dearly love a clean sheet. He has got 1 for the season so far. Pretty handy time to get a second here this evening. Franz Deli, as we said, wonderful technician. Great deliverer of the ball, is standing over this one. Interesting sort of area as well. Maybe just a little too far out to go direct for goal, but it's not beyond his capability. He will indeed, through the wall. Pregame plunging low to his left to smother that one. keeps his sheets clean, keeps the Mariners ahead by 4 as they keep themselves in the top flight of state football. The Mariners will play in the NPL top tier in 2025. 4 goals and a 5-star performance for the hosts. And they will simply not look back in anger on this match. A ruthless, relentless showing. The damage was done in the first half by Don Neonkuru winning the penalty. Nico Duarte, who coolly dispatched. Don Neonkuru, of course, adding the second before Bailey Brantman adding the pick of the bunch with the third. The Mariners ensured the results and ensured their status in the top flight with a goal in the second half. Again, it was Neonkuru winning the penalty. Again, Nico Duarte dispatching with coolness personified. And in spite of the Bulls' advantage coming into this one, they couldn't quite make it stick. A wonderful performance from Lucas Valela's men once again. Take nothing away from the great season that the Bulls had in the League One competition. But they're going to have to try and do it again next season if they are to return to the top flight of state football. Well, that's a wrap from Plume Park for 2024. It has been an absolute pleasure having your company all season. Of course, don't forget tomorrow evening, the big dance, the NPL Grand Final between Rockdale and Marconi. That one at 6 p.m. from Conbank Stadium. But from all of us at Football New South Wales, cameraman Steve Roberts, myself Pete Pryor, and behind me Eric Subiano and match reporter Justin Smith. Once again, absolute pleasure all season. I'll see you all in the summer. From me, it's bye for now.